So this is part 4. We are trying to explain um, the remaining exam requirements here. So if you look here, so we already done displaying the menu. We already validate the menu input. We already allow up to 5 new contacts. And we also made an if statement that prevents more than 100 contacts in total to be inserted into the contacts array. Okay. And we already talk about sorting. So this sorting, it's also part of adding new contacts which fall under the choice 1, which is entering new context. So when you enter a new context, if you must check if there is more than 2 contacts inside the contacts array, then you will call this sorting. Okay. So what is remaining for us is that we do these 2 things. We output the whole array, which means that we need to make a for loop to do that, to loop through the array, and we print the content of the array. And the last thing would be delete the context of the array. And this is actually 2 simple things. Okay. So let us, okay. As we said, what we have done so far is that we have done all the coding that is necessary to be inserted here. Okay. So that is adding new context, checking if allowing 5 contexts to be entered at the same time, checking if the context is more than 100 already inserted, and if there are more than 2 inserted in the context array, we do the sorting. All this would be inserted in this area. Okay, so the remaining to us is to make the full loop to display all the contacts, and then in the third choice of the menu is to actually delete all the contacts. Okay, so we are not making functions in this exam question because there is no time for that, but we are just writing the code under the if statement. So under the if statement, when the choice is equal to, we display all the contacts. So if the current size is equal 0, we definitely, there is nothing that we can display. So we can say no contacts to display. I would say that if you don't understand why this is needed, you just ignore this portion with else and you write focus only on this. We're focusing only on how to get as much marks as we get without going into too much complicated details. So this is just to protect us from looping and printing nothing. So this is an extra precaution. I mean, as a simple person who doesn't really understand deep things about programming, I would advise you focus only on this code. So this code, this is just a loop, and you loop through the array based on the size, the current size variable. So for I in this range, okay, you print this statement. So this going to print what? So definitely when we have a for loop, this for loop start making giving different values to I from 0 until we reach the size of the array. So assume that the size of the array, which is the current size, is 100. So it means that you need to loop from 0 until 99. So definitely the last value here is actually exclusive. So it means that we never reach 100. Once we start from 0, we reach 99. So and then we stop. Okay. So the point here is that if you would like to count the contacts, you need to increment that by 1, because we cannot say that there is a contact that is 0. So that's why he's adding 1 here. And if you don't understand it, just put I, and it's still also acceptable. Okay. Now he's mentioning here the name, and then he start to print out for every row that he loops through, he's going to print the name, which is in column 0. And the phone that is in column 1. So typically, as we said before, this is how the 2D array looks like. And so definitely you will find that this is column 0, this is column 1, this is row 0, row 1, and whatever rows that we have here. Here we're going to see the name, and here we're going to see the phone. So whatever name here, we're going to print it here. So when I equals 0, you will find yourself looking at the first row, and then you put whatever phone number here, and then you print it out. That is how you get out. So even, I mean, even when you put this print statement, don't be afraid to put it if you don't know how to get out the first name and the phone. Just put, I mean, this is a 2D array. If you don't know how to put it, just put the 2D array name here and here, and format the print statement properly, and put some comments here, and that is totally enough. You will definitely get at least 80 to 90% of the market dedicated to this feature or requirement. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next. Okay, so our purpose is to maximize the amount of marks by writing a lot of comments, and by focusing on the easy portion of the features or the requirement. So if you would like to delete all the array, we don't want to busy ourselves with commands like delete. So if you come here and put empty brackets like that, so you would overwrite the contents of an array with those empty brackets. So if the array was full of 100 contexts, you would just simply delete them by reinitializing the array to empty brackets like that. And then you need to reset the size to make the current size become 0. So, and then you can print the statement saying that, oh, all the contexts already deleted. So this is, I mean, this is so simple. So even if you don't know how to add new contexts, looping through the array and displaying all the contexts and deleting all the contexts, that is something that I would really start with. And exiting the program, just putting break with a print statement that say exiting contact manager. So this is something that is very simple that I would advise people to start with. Okay, so let us try to go through the code. Let me try to pause the recording here. So I'm trying to actually put together simple parts of the of this answer. So here I'm putting, we're starting with the variable names that we're going to need. This is the context array, the 2D array that we're going to insert the name and the phone. This is the current size initialized to 0. Maximum context, you can put it, you can use something, a constant variable like that to carry 100, which is the maximum allowed context. You can put it like that, or you can even write it by hand, which is totally fine. We will start with putting the menu. So we are going to add print 1 to add a new contact, possibly delete the contact as 2, or even here print, maybe we make this 3, and then here we make it 2, view context, or even print all, view all contexts like that. So that is one possible thing. So this is just as simple, and this is, we are building the menu here, and I would say we have to take an input from the user just to put the choice, to take the choice which one you would like to choose, 1 or 2 or 3, and then we have to make the validation. And okay, we can start with the if statements, and then we can later on we can write pass at the start just to fill in the space, and then else if choice equal to, we write pass, else if 3, we also write pass. So definitely we have to put code instead of the word pass, but we just making the whole structure first. So of course, the easiest part that I would start with, because adding context need a lot of code inside, but deleting, viewing and looping through all the context is quite easy. And so do the deleting all the context quite only 2 or 3 lines. That's it. So you are done with that. So I would, a recommendation is to focus on the easiest part first. So I will finish actually the validation here, and I will use validation template that I always use, which use while here, and I will say yes, while should be not less than 1 or even bigger than 3. And then other than that, I will print an error message and then take another input from the user like that. So this is the validation that is required. So it means that I already finished the important part here. Let us, again, the comment is very important. So I would say here, validating user choice from 1 to 3 for the menu. Okay, and maybe I have some spelling mistakes here. Okay, so maybe here I write building the menu. Okay, maybe I can print here contact list menu. Maybe I can add a comment here saying displaying menu options. The more comments you put, that is actually good for you. So we are checking process here, the user choices. Okay, I will start also with a simple thing here. I would say print statement will say that we need to print all the show all the contexts. Okay, and then I make a for loop, and then I can say for contact on context, or even for I in, whatever for I in range with the current size here of the context in the context array, and I will make a print statement that actually puts the name here like that, and then the phone like that. Okay, and I already explained that, so I'm focusing only on printing the easiest thing that we are able to put actually. And then I will do the deleting part. So if I would like to delete, so I will say context array. I will reinitialize it with an empty bracket like that, and I would put a print statement that say that all contexts have been actually deleted. Yep, all context is already deleted. So yeah, that is the easiest part that we are able to do. So when I try to actually build the code here, so this is the code where we are actually add a new context, and I would come here say that view all contexts here. Okay, and then I will come here, make a comment, delete all contexts like that. So that is can guarantee me a good amount of marks without too much work from me. Okay, so I would say that since we need to insert, we start with simple things first. So we will check if the current size is less than maximum context, which means that I'm able to insert something. So definitely what I will do that the easy thing, I will take 2 inputs from the user and then these two inputs is the name and the phone, and then I will append them actually to the 2D array here, as we can see, like this. And then I will increment the current size by 1, and then I will say, okay, I'm done. Okay, so by doing so, you already actually get a lot of marks. And yes, you did not satisfy all the requirements yet, but there is a lot of things that you have done here. Okay, you take input, you already store it, you increment the size, you already printed a proper output statement or print statement. So what we can do here is that we can say also else that we can say that the contact list is full. We can't add any more contacts, and we need to maybe add some break here. But actually, I mean, break we can add it later because we didn't yet put any for loops or loops that we need to skip from, and then we need to actually add an if statement to check if the current size is actually, so if the current size is bigger than 2, bigger than or equal to, here, like that. So if you do so, if it is bigger than 2, so you need to actually insert the algorithm for sorting. So we need to actually also can put like this here, sort if there is more than 2 contexts in the array. Okay, so I will go copy the template sorting algorithm, and then I will start to modify it here in front of you. And so let me go and take that algorithm from the sorting, the standard algorithm for sorting, and then we start to remove the parts in front of you. So we can just simply put the code like that. Something wrong with the indentation, but this kind of errors is actually not really, should not really concern us here, as long as we make sure that here we are under the if statement here. I mean, no, this should be the same like the if above. Okay, but anyhow, this should not actually make any issue to us. I'm not very sure why it's suddenly so there is certain, yeah, okay, I'm not very sure why he's, maybe I need to delete that portion. It seems quite strange. It doesn't allow me anymore to do any editing. I will try to refresh it. Hopefully I don't lose any code. Okay, so it seems that we are back here. Okay, so this is a template which is, I mean, this is a standard code for that we study for the sorting algorithm. I will start by deleting this actually student mark, because we don't have here any student marks. We have a different array, and we need to put here the current size. We need to use the current size variable. Okay, and definitely because we are starting from 0, so we we need to put the last as current size minus 1. And then this is a swapping algorithm. We need to just remove any mention for student mark here. Okay, so we replace student mark by writing actually contacts, which is the name of our array. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay, and then here I need to mention context here, context. I don't know why they are rewriting my yeah, this with a capital. I am the one who done mistake here. So I remove that and put contacts. Okay, and I remove the student mark. I put the contacts array name, and everything remained the same, except that this if statement need a little addition, because this is the context array is a 2D and it have a name and phone number. And when we are doing the comparison, he required for us to do the sorting based on the names, not on the numbers. So to do that, we need to choose that this kind of comparison is done on the column 0, which is containing the name, like that. So that is how the sorting algorithm should work. And then if you would like to improve and you really understand what is the requirements, so I would say that you should actually add a for loop, and this for loop should run for 5 times, because he is asking us to enter 5 contexts at the same time. So, and I will indent all this code under it here. And that will get indented also. And if so, if this is full, then I will, yes, need to break the for loop, and the if statement will remain the same. So after I finish the for loop here for inserting 5 contacts, I will check if the current size is more than 2, then definitely I will do the sorting. So by that, I already finish all the code, and I hope you really understand it, and good luck for you in the exam.